Good afternoon, year one. I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to your science lesson. Let's do our just checking questions. So firstly, last lesson, this is our question from last lesson. Wood is a natural material that comes from trees. True or false? Then our question from last unit. Animals that only eat meat are called what? Then our question from last term. Mammals are cold-blooded animals that are covered in scales. True or false? And finally, from last year, what is missing from this life cycle? So what goes here? Okay, let's go through our answers. So wood is a natural material that comes from trees. That is true. Okay, then animals that only eat meat are called carnivores. And our last term question, mammals are cold-blooded animals that are covered in scales. No, false. Mammals are covered in, what are mammals covered in? Yeah, fur or hair, and they're not cold-blooded, they are warm-blooded. Okay. And then last year's question, what is missing from this life cycle? It is butterfly. It's the butterfly life cycle. Eggs, caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly. So today's big question is, what is the difference between a material and an object? So we did touch on that a little bit last week. And so today is just kind of making sure that we really know the difference between a material and object. So today's learning objective is to explore the difference between a material and an object. The steps to success. I know that an object is a thing that can be used. I know that materials are what an object is made from. I can name common materials and I can identify which material an object is made from. So, who remembers the name of our powerful scientist for this term? So his name is Charles Mackintosh. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about his early life or earlier life. So if you were paying attention in our geography lesson with Mrs. Madison, what flag is this? It's one of the flags of one of the countries in the United Kingdom. Scotland. So Charles Mackintosh was born in Scotland, so he's Scottish. And as a young man, he worked as a clerk, keeping records and doing paperwork. He did not love this job, though, and in his spare time, he studied science. So his job wasn't a scientist to begin with. His job was working as a clerk. And he loved science so much that he wanted to do it in his spare time. Then eventually he left his job when he was 19 and started work manufacturing chemicals and experimented with ways to use chemicals to make new materials. So he used his passion for science to make new materials. And that's how eventually we got to the waterproof fabric. So next week we'll learn a little bit more about that. Okay, so how many different materials can you remember? Let's start our lesson off with that. How many different materials can you remember? So pause here and write a list of all the materials, then we'll come back in a minute to see if you've remembered them all. Okay, so let's go through and see if you have remembered all the different materials. Why don't you tick them off as we go along? Okay, so here is our vocabulary page. Just as a reminder, the word object means a thing that can be used. For example, a door, chair, car, table are all objects. And then material is what an object is made from. And here are some of those common materials that we talked about last week. tick them off as we go. We've got glass, fabric, stone, paper, metal, wood, and plastic. Okay, here we have a picture of something that is not in its whole, it's split into parts. So what do you think the object is? And what material do you think it's made from? Let's have a look and see if you're right. So it is a coin, and coins are made from metal. What object do you think this is? And what material do you think it's made from? Let's find out. It is a comb, and this comb is made from plastic. What do you think this object is? And what material is it made from? Let's see if you're right. It's a chair, and this chair is made from wood. What about this object? And what material? Let's see if you're right. It's a t-shirt, and this t-shirt is made from a type of fabric called cotton. Although not all t-shirts will be made from cotton, they are all made from different types of fabrics. What about this object? What do we think this is? And what material do you think it's made from? Let's see, are you right? It is a spoon, and this spoon is made from metal. What other materials could spoons be made from? Well done if you said plastic. They can be made from plastic as well. What's this? What object do you think this is? And what material do you think it's made from? Let's see if you were right. It's a statue, and this statue is made from a type of stone called marble. Again, not all statues are made from marble, but they are mostly made from stone, different types of stone. What about this object? And what material is it made from? It's a bottle, and this bottle is made from glass. What object do you think this is? And what material is it made from? It's a book, and this book is made from paper. Okay, so come to our activity. So your job is, can you match these objects to the material they are made from? And then can you think about whether any of them are made using more than one material? Okay, remember to write down all of your answers. You might like to sort them into groups, or write them as a list, or draw some pictures. It's up to you how you want to present it. But please remember to send your work in to year1@thepalmeracademy.com.